So here we are then, SBR Racing Sim Racing even British Touring Car Championship round 10 from the notorious Goodwood circuit, and it's Nathan leading the championship by quite a margin. It looks like it's in the bag this season, ahead of Ben. BT Racing Ford leading Laser Tools Mercedes, and with Liam not here tonight, that's likely to grow that gap. So like I say, we're at Goodwood, and the surprise on pole position probably this season is Ben on pole from Lewis, and then Adam in third, continuing his good form. Fourth for Sean. Fifth is really not a great starting position for Nathan. He's not used to that. Sixth for Greg. Seventh for Jeff, who continues his fine form this season, and eighth for Coleman as we're away. And Ben leads with a great start. Lewis with an uncharacteristic bad start. Adam with a brilliant start, and he looks like he's trying to pressure Lewis into the first corner, but hasn't made the move. And in the background, Sean sideways and looked like he had contact with Nathan. Greg's already visiting the scenery at turn 1 on what is a very, very tricky track, and he's still visiting the scenery, so he's got all Paris-Dakar on us. And John seems to have stopped, and Will's not even made the race. Some kind of glitch there for him, so unfortunate for Will standing in tonight. And contact there with Ben and Lewis, and that's put Lewis sideways, and a bit more contact with Adam, and that's Lewis off into the weeds doing a bit of ploughing. And he tried an ambitious move around the outside, by the looks of it, and it's just not come off. And meanwhile, Jeff's backwards as well in the field, so that field's very popular on lap 1, and that's given Ben a good gap already. Adam's second, Sean and Nathan battling for third as they come down this really, really fast back straight. And then things start to tighten up as we head towards the chicane that everyone's worried about, but it's basically one line through there. And Ben's wide, the leader's wide, and he's gone off, and that's a tricky corner, but he's gone wide and come back on in second by looks of it. Yes, in the background, Nathan and Sean side by side, but that won't work. It's one line from there, and everyone funnels through, and Andrew comes in there really hot, but gets away with it. These guys that had the big errors in the first lap, are coming back through the chicane quite a way behind the field now. But now it's Adam that leads in the Vauxhall from fourth on the grid, so he'd be well pleased with that. And Sean third, Nathan fourth, the championship leader, with Lewis back to fifth on a very adventurous first lap for him. And Nathan now will try to open up the inside. It's quite hard to overtake on this track. You have to plan your moves and just hope that the guy that you're racing gives you room. This very notorious corner, and now Sean looks like he's done it as well, and he's gone ploughing. The farmer's not going to have any work to do this winter. Literally, Sean and the rest of the field have done it for him, and Sean drops down to 6th, could be 7th, but no. Nick's just pulling out of that one. He's in 8th place, and that's where he likes to finish, so I doubt he'll try and improve his position. Adam leads though for Vauxhall, and Ben's now closing back in with the Audi. And these two just a little bit of a gap, to Nathan. And great view as the cars funnel through this penultimate corner, heading down into that horrible chicane, which is just so hard to get wrong. But this is an old school track, so any errors are punished. You don't get your your like aircraft landing strips like you do with the modern tracks. And Ben trying to go around the outside of Adam, that's ambitious, and it didn't work. He'll try to get a cut back now and get a run down this really long back section, which again is quite hard to overtake, but if you've got a run on someone, you can probably get it around the outside and through this real fast corner. Goodwood circuit was closed in like the 60s, reopened for, I think it might have been the 70s actually. It was reopened for the Goodwood revival, which I've been to a couple of times and really do recommend you go and visit. But this is British Touring Cars, and no nostalgia here. And over the curb there for one of the Seats, I think it was Andrew, because Jeff's still fighting back from that massive spin on lap 1. So here we go down the back straight again. Flash of the lights from Ben as he tries to put Adam off. Adam's been driving at a very high standard lately, and things like that probably won't put him off, and even Ben's weaving around and Adam's not responding to it, so Adam feels pretty comfortable in the lead. Lewis is closing in, trying to redeem his mistakes on lap 1. Through this horrible chicane we go again. These cars fly through there. There's Sean in 4th. missed last week's races, and Nathan gets past Coleman for 5th. Coleman standing in again for Chris, but Chris is back next week. Last time we see Coleman this season. Lewis trying to get the inside run on Ben, but Ben's also trying to get the inside run on Adam, so everywhere you look there's battles. Ben trying to get the inside on Adam, but he's on the grass for some reason that's completely unknown to me. But getting down this really fast back section, and as things start to tighten up, you have to hit the curb there, and then Ben's a bit wide, and Lewis tries to go around the outside to take advantage of it, but he won't get around there, and doesn't. It's such a nasty bit of... It looks quite easy, the corners, but it's so easy to make a mistake because you've got to carry speed through them, so it's easy to get the speed wrong, and then you're on the grass, and that's it, you're part of the scenery. But Adam just driving beautifully at the moment, no mistakes. He's not over driving, he's not trying to over defend, he's just keeping his line. So it is Adam, Ben, Lewis at the moment, and then Sean, Nathan, Coleman. Then the other Vauxhall doing really well is Ashley in 7th, and just ahead of Will in 8th, obviously, as we say every week. Will is Nick is a real big fan of 8th place, and there he is as they funnel through, and the two rocket cars are together as well, and whoa, John comes in completely sideways and somehow doesn't hit anything. John's showing better form lately, and here's some better form as well, and oh, bit of contact from Ash. There's Nick seemed to come in there like a wrecking ball and kind of got a bit over ambitious, and Ash just took his normal line and a bit of contact, and that's allowed Greg past both of them, so Greg will be well pleased with that. And Ash down to 8th place, unfortunately for him, in the second Vauxhall. Is looking good for Vauxhall at the moment. Looks like they're going to get a good haul of points the way it stands at this time. Meanwhile, out in the lead it's still Adam, Ben, and then Lewis with a penalty now, and then Sean, who's got a bit of a gap back to Nathan, who's just looking a bit off the boil in this race. I know he hasn't had a lot of practice on this track, so he'll probably be using this race to learn the track. It seems like quite a simple track, but there is little nuances to it that allow you to go faster, and like I say, whichever line you take, it seems to be the big key. Meanwhile, Leon there on the back straight. Leon pretty pissed, to be honest with you. I've got to be honest with you, on a scale of 1 to 10 he's probably 12, so doing well just to see the track, let alone drive it. And another man that's not afraid of a beer is Ben in 2nd place, but it's not on his mind at the moment. He's just defending from Lewis. Lewis looking pretty aggressive and up for the fight today. Let's see what happens at the back. Oh, look at that, Nick's found a bit more track that he needs, and that's probably going to put him down the inside of Ashley, and it looks like that's done as well. In the background you can see I think that's Leon and Andrew fighting, and it is. And round the outside swoops Andrew, takes a position, has got a penalty there. We'll have to serve that before the end of the race. We've got rid of these silly penalties where you have to take it in certain points. Drivers made it much easier for the drivers to basically have to take the penalties before the end of a race. But Adam now just starting to stretch a little gap now as Ben and Lewis go into combat. Adam will be well pleased with that. So we head into this last chicane again. Hold your breath, hope everyone gets through there, and they do. Ben's a little bit off and Lewis follows him kicking up the grass, but they both did pretty much the same thing, so Lewis has got to run. Ben should cover that to the inside. He does. Lewis switches to the outside, but it's a brave man that tries to go around the outside. Lewis is brave and tries it anyway, but hasn't worked. So Adam he'll be loving this, watching this in the mirror, watching these two fight. But it looks like Ben's pulled him back quite a bit, so maybe a mistake from Adam in turn 1, because Ben's pulled him back pretty quickly. Still Sean in 4th, a bit lonely at the moment, and has a fairly lonely race, and Nathan in 5th, pretty much the same. Coleman in 6th, doing a great job ahead of Greg. No question, you don't need to ask who's in 8th. It's Nick with Ash and Leon fighting. Leon's lost that though, he's gone sideways, he comes back and goes sideways again, and he visits the farmer's field, and why not, and comes back onto the track and into it. He's back down to 11th place, just ahead of Jeff, who's continuing his not so great form. He started the season well, and it just seems to have ebbed away slightly lately, and obviously we know he spun out in the opening lap, but he's struggling to make progress so far. Meanwhile, this battle for the lead's starting to re-engage. Ben's starting to hunt down Adam again. Meanwhile, Sean's come to life. You can see in his lap times he's all of a sudden dropped into 14s, and now he has caught Lewis. And it looked like Ben was wide at turn 1 there. Soon see when we get to the end of the back straight, because you lose so much momentum and it carries you all the way down to that back corner there. Here's some great fighting between Coleman and Greg. Like I say, Coleman stood in for a few races, one for Sayat, and now two events for the Pretty and Pink team. And Greg's off, back again, and does Greg swoop round the outside? He's got the inside line. He tried to give as much room as he could, but it's very hard to go side by side through that corner, and Coleman does in fact keep the position. Well, that's put Jeff onto the grass, and he's back. I know it's actually Andrew on the grass, sorry. Jeff swoops around and into 11th place, so Jeff now just starting to move up. Having said that he wasn't, he is. Ben and Lewis side by side. So Ben's made that mistake, like I said, at the first corner. It's dropped him straight back into the clutches. It just shows you how much momentum you lose by getting that first corner wrong. And pretty much a theme of Ben's all weekend really was that first corner. He just couldn't seem to get that right, and he seemed to pay the consequences that just put him into battles that he shouldn't really be in. But Lewis and Sean more than fast enough to race Ben, so here they come. Sean with a great run through that first corner, and Lewis with his hazards on. That's nice of him to warn everyone. And Sean just trying to figure out a way through. Great slipstream, but Lewis has got slipstream off Ben, and Lewis is looking for a move, but that's going to be brave into there, and there's only one line like we say. And now Sean looking for the switch back, but that's not really on. Meanwhile, Nathan's still in 5th and not showing any signs of improvement, so slightly lackluster race from the champion-elect, who looks like he's going to win it pretty easily. I would have thought probably he could even win it tonight if there's a complete disaster, but I don't see that happening. And there is double points for the last race at Brands Hatch next week, so I guess that's keeping it fairly alive. Well, it will take a miracle to stop Nathan now, but meanwhile, we're not worried about that at the moment. Coleman still fighting with Greg, and these guys have been at it pretty much since the flag dropped. There's only four 3 laps to go as we're about to cross the line. Very fast lap this, so. And there's Ash, he's in 9th now at the moment, ahead of Leon and Jeff. Jeff up to 10th now, so Jeff making great 11th, sorry, so he's still in 11th place. Adam still leads, and he looks likely for the win because everyone keeps making mistakes behind him, and there's another one from Lewis. He's had to take his penalty, and now that puts Nathan into the battle. Nathan swooped around the outside, so Nathan just starting to get involved in this race at last, and into 4th place for him. Lewis down to 5th, but it's still Adam, Ben, Sean, Nathan, then Lewis in 5th. Here's the battle for 6th and 7th, but they're way back, and these guys are still side by side. Like I said, they should have just hopped in the same car to save the fuel. If it's side by side so much. And there is our normal 8th place man, Nick, trying to work a move down the inside. There's a potential gap there, but no, Coleman covers that. Little tap up the back. It's a bit naughty from Nick, but he'll feel he had no choice because Coleman braked early, but yeah, there's a bit off that. And there's Leon and Jeff fighting back now, trying to take 10th place, trying to salvage something from a pretty miserable race for him. Adam still leads though. Somehow for all this, Adam still leads. Ben 2nd. Now with Sean catching him. Sean with great race pace at the end of this race. Closing in on the Audi with his Chevy, number 14. And now you can see Nathan as well, look, just starting to linger in the background, just starting to get involved with this, and he'll fancy his chances against these two if they're battling. Lewis also just closing in on Nathan a little bit, so he could even have a 5-way fight for the win if they can actually catch Adam. But every time they catch Adam, they seem to all make mistakes and drop back again. So Adam's just doing his thing. He's doing a brilliant job, just not making any mistakes and just saying, well, if you can't catch me and you're going to keep making mistakes, I'll win it. If you don't want to win it, I'll win it. Everyone loves it when Adam wins races because you hear about it for the next month, but that's why everyone will try and stop him winning. But joking aside, Adam doing a great job. Ben still holding on to 2nd, and if these two could actually use their heads and work together, they might actually catch Adam if they just keep moving along like that. But Ben's been overdriving since the flag dropped, and that's another excuse in there. You can see it actually, Sean just nudging Ben along, so a bit of bump drafting as they try to catch up to Adam. I think Sean's giving Ben a chance, and if he doesn't take it, he'll take the position and do it himself. But like I say, Ben making a few too many mistakes. Hasn't really clicked with the Mazda. It's been the story of the season, really. But this penultimate lap, they're all in the chance of victory, but they have to close Adam down, and it looks like they're doing it by working together. It looks like they're doing it, because Sean could quite easily have sent one down the inside there. He seems to have a lot more grip than the Audi at this stage, and they need to hurry up because Nathan is catching. Nathan's sort of, I think he's learnt the track now, and he's definitely closing in. So Adam leads as they flash past us. Adam leads with Ben, Sean, Nathan, and then Lewis has dropped back in the foreground there, so he's obviously made a mistake again. But Adam now just needs to get the chicane right and then blast onto the last lap. But now Ben and Sean are in the slipstream, so this is going to be some hell of a last lap. They've closed in just at the right time, and there's Lewis. Right, so we need to see what happens now. Then Ben's on the grass. So like I say, every time he gets close he makes a mistake, and now Sean will blast through. Sean will be like, you've had your chance. You're driving like, I can't say, can't swear. Yep. I can't say that. You're driving like an idiot. There we go. And I'm going to have to take the position, but across the line goes Andrew and Brian doing a great job. And here's Leon, probably pretty drunk, and meanwhile, speaking of drunk, 12th and 13th look like they're kind of hammered, and Jeff's having a miserable race and drops to the back of the field. But Adam looks like he's got this now. Sean's catching very quickly, but I think he's not fast enough, and they're onto the back straight, so it is definitely not he isn't going to catch. It looks pretty settled with Adam first, Sean second. Sean just now probably will take second place. He missed the last couple of rounds and didn't really score, and he's off. He's onto the grass, and surely he can't get back on. So is Nathan going to get past as well? Ben's through already, and he just squeezes in front. Ben's hit the barrier on the way into the final chicane, and Sean's hit him up the back, and Nathan's hit him as well. So who's second? This Adam wins brilliantly. Second for Ben, third for, it looks like Sean's got it, Nathan fourth, fifth in the end for Lewis. But Adam brilliantly wins, made the least mistakes, and deserves that victory. Sixth for Greg if he can get off the grass, and he's done exactly the same as the other three. So what a finish to this race. Greg gets sixth. Brilliant effort from Ash. You can see he's delighted with that. 7th place, and now he can actually believe he just belongs here. And 8th place for Nick, 9th for Brian. Good result for Brian. 10th for Andrew, 11th for Leon. He's probably seen about 3 tracks, so we'll let him off. John hits the barrier just like his teammate and finishes 12th, and Jeff 13th. Like I say, brilliant win for Adam, and great result for Vauxhall in general. And there's the results for you. You can just flick through that and see, and the fastest lap went to Lewis. And yeah, some great displays there, notably, like I say, from Vauxhall. We'll be back for race 2 very shortly from Goodwood.